Okay, here we are. We're back with this image, and this is the third part and possibly the final that I'll do, but it'll always never be the final thing because everything is continually evolving. So we're working with the Softar Effect, and the only thing I've done to the image at this point, I believe that is different from the previous video tutorial, is I have made a merged composite layer. Okay, and you all understand how that's done, and I've named it Softar Effect Merge Composite. Now, in the last tutorial, I talked about possibly painting in certain areas on the layer mask for the folder set to possibly reduce the softening effect on the eyes and some of the other things. And there was a variety of ways that you can try to go about doing this, and techniques, and painting opacities and all that fun loving stuff. And then I talked about possibly getting a more intricate mask, and I was trying to see if I could actually pull out one of the channels and paste that inside the layer mask, but just wasn't working the way I wanted it to, especially as far as an action is concerned. But I did come up with something that may just work as far as an action is concerned for us. And that is if I could, and what I'll do is I'll make a duplicate of this layer here, because I always just kind of like to do that when I'm playing around, so Command J to do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this Blend If this layer. All right, and I'm just going to come back here and put in, I don't know, this and that, just so I can create a nice name for this layer and all that kind of stuff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go space hyphen space, and I'm going to set the value to 64 on this one, and this is what I'm going to be doing. You know that if I double click to the right of the name in the layer, we bring up the layer styles dialog box, and what I want to do is I want to take this layer and I want to split this guy here. So I'm going to hold down the option key and just click anywhere to the right of that. That'll get it to split. And I'm going to take that value up to 64. All right, so now I've got that going on. What I'm basically saying to this layer is any brightness value, all right, that is darker than 64, don't apply this blurring. And what I'm hoping to be able to do is not have the blur effect happen so much on the eyes, the stuff that is kind of darker, all right, and the eyelashes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping I can pull that away from there, and I think I might be able to get quite successful with that. So I'm going to click OK at that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a duplicate of this, but in this case, instead of doing 64, I'm going to spread it up to 96 to see what that does. So if I double click on this, we can see we're at 64. Just bring this up to here. And I'm going to go up to 96. And there we go. So there are going to be subtle changes. All right, and I guess what I'm saying is it's going to be up to you to determine whether or not you want to have the full effect, or whether or not you want to have it not affect just the dark areas, or you want to have it kind of bleeding in. And whether or not you can see a difference right now on this screen on this tutorial, subjective. I don't know whether you will or you will not. I know I can see it, but it is extremely subtle. Now, you all know that if I hold down the option key and click on an eyeball, I'll be able to turn off all the other eyeballs except for that one. Okay, so now if I come over here and click on this one here, you can see that that's the Softar effect, and it's beautiful entirety and all that kind of stuff. If I were to, and this is going to be a little bit funny looking, if I were to click on this guy here, then we're going to see this. This is a little bit odd and a little bit strange, but you can see where we are eliminating the blur from happening and where we are allowing it to happen. So obviously where you see color, pixel information, whatever, we're allowing it, the blur, to actually happen to that. Where you see it's not, right, the transparency and all that kind of stuff, you can see that we're not allowing that blur to actually happen on there. And then if I was to go over here, you can see that it is somewhat different. So you can see visually now, hopefully, what that blend if slider is doing. It's protecting or eliminating the effect from certain brightness values. There you go. And if I were to come back down here, click on that, and then just come in and click on these guys, this is, right, the full effect of the Softar thing. And then if I were to turn off these guys and then just turn on this one, you'll see that we have that effect. And if I turn off that and come over and do that, we have that effect there. All right, the only thing I can do is suggest to you to try it and see what the differences could possibly be. All right, great. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in the next video.